Alright, hello everybody, this is the EpicGamingGuru, and I know what you all are thinking already off the bat. Guru, where the hell have you been? It's been like 2 to 4 months, you haven't uploaded a single goddamn thing, and quite frankly, it's been pretty crazy since you've been gone, since a lot of information has been going around here or there, but let me tell you all right now, it has been an absolute crazy set of things going on here or there, and I'm gonna try to explain all of it in one go. Normally when I make these type of videos, I try to be at least a little bit more up and antsy about the idea of me making an actual discussion video, especially one that involves the channel, but this is definitely not one of those type of days where I'm going to be making a video like this. I mean, I am pretty amped up right now on coffee and I haven't slept at all day because I needed to reset my sleeping schedule, but there's been a lot of crazy things that have happened since before even the start of June that resulted in me not being able to make video content throughout the whole summer, even if it was a break time for me. So since the beginning of June, and just a few days before that, my father ended up having a severe accident that resulted in him losing one of his legs. And quite frankly, it wasn't the whole leg, but it was below the kneecap. And it was resulting in me not being able to make any form of video content. We did not know how severe things were going to be in the hospital. He is doing much better now, but that was one severe thing that has happened since then that I couldn't even be able to think about making any form of video content because it was a very serious thing that all of my family members were worried about. The fact that my father's accident wasn't even the only bad thing that happened as well. Like, that was one of the most severe critical things that have happened so far around June, and I was really going down and depressed about it. But there was also an incident that happened less than 2 to 4 months prior to all of that that also affected basically my perspective of any form of future or anything that involves the content within this channel or anything else involving of anything in the background. I'm very tired as it is right now, because of everything else that happened, not only with my father but also with my job in hand, because I found out since February, or at least between February to the incoming of March, which was less than 2 months prior of all this, I ended up finding out that not only was my job pretty much declared a dead-end job now because they ended up changing how the laws work to receive CDL Class B licensing. You now have to pay $4,000 upfront for a personal trainer to teach you how CDL Class B driving actually works throughout the entire session. And I find that a little bit ridiculous because back then all you would do was take a written portion exam, then take the physical exam, and then you were pretty much off to go to be able to drive whatever vehicle you wanted based on whatever licensing level you had. Yeah, that all changed entirely, and just before I was going to start studying and doing a bunch of important stuff for the rest of my life, I ended up finding out that that whole entire system ended up being put in place, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was pretty much stuck at a dead-end job that was not going to go any higher. There was no higher promotion positions or anything available. So I pretty much just said, you know what? No, I give up. I'm not staying with this dead-end job that's sucking the life out of me as it is. If it was a CDL Class B type of position, I wouldn't have minded too much because I was at least getting paid to the right amount of portion of money that I was supposed to be receiving from that job to begin with. I get paid less than $11 an hour, which is kind of ridiculous because that's barely, and I mean barely, above the actual wage within the US. And even then, there are people who have even lesser jobs than I do that get paid between $13 to $15 an hour. So let's just go ahead and let that sink in here for a moment. Now, I know what you all might be immediately thinking. Why, Guru, you could have just moved on to a different town and tried to get a better job or maybe a better position in life. I mean, you're really well educated, you have a lot of degrees down, you got a lot of things done in your life, you've worked multiple different jobs. Like, why can't you get specifically a job nowadays? Well, you see guys, to basically clarify that portion of this video, because I know that question was probably going to be popping up pretty much later on throughout my entire time streaming on Trovo, which I moved on from Twitch to Trovo. I'm going to explain that further on down this video. But the thing that happened was, the reason I never tried to move into a different set of a town or anything like that, or tried to basically change my life in a different city or something, is because moving is expensive in itself, even though I'm not really carrying that much objects. I mean, it would just be my PC, 2 monitors, a keyboard, a mic, and a camera. And then it would just be pretty much clothing and whatever else I need. And that'd be pretty much it, which moving to me is pretty simple. It's like moving a very small room. That's not the expensive the expensive portion. The expensive portion comes in when I have to start dealing with more bills and so on that I'm not going to be able to handle because of the fact that either I was promised a job at the location and then when I show up they decided to hire somebody else, or something else of that type of, like, basically that type of method happens, which I understand to an extent. It's just business. Most businesses want to hire people for their specific needs, even though I fit the criteria really well. There's even jobs that denied me just because of the fact that I was overqualified, which I find kind of ridiculous. But either way, that's pretty much as it is for my job situation, and I'm still a little bit like shaky here about things, but moving on. I only have about 2 more things I need to talk about on this video, so hopefully it's not going to be too long. I'm already way past beyond the 5-minute explanation discussion amount that I would normally do for this channel, but let me go ahead and explain a couple of other things that have happened, guys, which is one of the biggest major things that has happened, which might be a big shock to everybody. I think in itself I could probably make an entire discussion video explaining why I moved from Twitch to Trovo. There was just a lot of shady things that Twitch had going on at the time, and I can understand why people want to stay on Twitch. I can understand why people want to be on Trovo. To each their own, I would say, and to be 100% honest, I knew that one day it was going to happen regardless, because there were just too many ups and downs that I've been having with Twitch, mostly a bunch of negative effects on me when it came to my channel, and overall it just wasn't helping me with a majority of the problems that I had with the actual platform as a whole. It's not the people on the platform I ironically had a problem with. Like, yeah, I had some negative things to talk about some people there, but it wasn't enough to a point where it'd be like, why would somebody get me on Twitch to basically quit Twitch just because of content creators on the platform? That doesn't make any sense. The thing that made me quit on Twitch was the fact that Twitch was just doing way too much shady stuff in the background when it comes to the way they do their business, and it made me kind of question the moral aspects of what Twitch was doing with their content creators to begin with. So that was enough reason alone for me to just move on from Twitch to Trovo, and I decided to give Trovo a fair shot, and overall I'm loving the platform more. I feel a little bit more relaxed and less, I don't know, like, not, I wouldn't say stressed out, more like stretched out when it comes to Trovo, because there you're really not limited or anything on what you can or can't do, and it doesn't feel like I basically have the breathing boogeyman of getting banned on Twitch out of nowhere just for something that people find slightly offensive, even if it is jokingly aside. And of course these type of things I joke about is just very mediocre stuff, nothing racial or anything, but it's enough to basically trigger a few people on Twitch, enough to basically get my account reported, which it actually has been in the past. Alright, I think I talked about just about every little thing that was happening outside of YouTube itself. Now I gotta talk about the actual channel itself here on YouTube and what's going to happen henceforward. Guys, I don't know what is going to happen with my YouTube channel from here on forward. Like, I will still be trying to make more content in the future for the channel, maybe more reviews here in the future, and maybe some more gameplay throughs, and maybe some more of some extra footage here. But the thing that's happening with everything else that's going on in my life, it's a very, very, I would have to say very dark type of future that I have, because of all the weird misconception of things that have been happening. Like, I don't have control over every little aspect of my life, I understand that. But with all the weird things that have been happening and all the bad stuff here and there that have been going around and then has been going around, I really do not know what's going to happen within the future of YouTube itself, but I can guarantee you this at least. I will try my absolute best to try to make more stuff here in the future on the channel. I know that I've been very reluctant on doing so because of everything else that's been going on in the background, and I know that I can't really fully explaining every little situation I ran into, but I am trying my absolute best to do so regardless. Either way, guys, I'm definitely going to have to wrap it up here for this entire summary as well. I'm going to go ahead and timestamp the entire video down in the description as well, and also add timestamps into this video itself. Hope you all enjoyed this video regardless. This has been EpicGamingGuru. I will be back soon, I can at least tell you that much. And overall, thank you all for everybody sticking around this long for the channel, and overall helping me so much both on Twitch and Trovo. It has been a hell of a wild ride, but until then, only future can tell what is going to happen to me and anything else related to both the channel and anywhere else on any other platform. Thank you all so much for checking me out. Thank you all so much for checking out the content that I made, and thank you all so much for supporting this channel from here on forward. Overall, I cannot thank you all enough. And with that being said, I'll see you all next time.